Imagine a plate of freshly baked cookies. The chocolate chips are still shiny and melting from the oven's heat. Picture a display case full of bright, colorful candies. Imagine a fancy, multi-layered cake. The frosting is shiny and shaped into perfect swirls. These aren't just things we see. They actively make us feel something deep inside. A strong craving starts to grow, an almost instant wish to enjoy something sweet. But what's really going on in our minds when we see these sweet temptations? The answer is deep within our brain's old and complex wiring, a system made for survival but now dealing with a world full of sweetness. Sugar, in its simplest form, is a basic carbohydrate our bodies use for energy. We usually link it to obvious things, like candy and pastries. But sugar is much more common and hidden in our modern diet. Savory pasta sauces, seemingly healthy yogurts, processed breads, and a bunch of popular fizzy drinks. Many everyday food items in our pantries and fridges have a lot of added sugar. Your brain's reward system doesn't just react to food. It also lights up for many human experiences that are seen as good or fun. Getting involved in good social interactions, laughing with close friends, connecting with loved ones, can all cause dopamine to be released, which helps us build social connections. Physical closeness and sexual activity are also strong activators of this system. This shows that the circuit isn't just about survival, it's deeply connected to our social and emotional lives. It's how the brain encourages many activities that help with personal happiness and the continuation of our species. It makes us feel good when we do things that are, from an evolutionary perspective, good for us. However, this very system can be artificially activated by outside substances, often with much greater intensity than natural rewards. Nicotine, alcohol, and illegal drugs, these substances directly mess with the reward pathway, causing a huge amount of dopamine that makes the reactions from natural things seem small. This strong feeling of chemical happiness is what makes these substances so dangerous. When the reward system is overstimulated repeatedly and strongly, it can start to break down. Our brain's dopamine and reward systems are not static. They are highly adaptable and very sensitive to new experiences. This is clear when you first try a new food. An exotic fruit, a strange fruit, a uniquely made dessert. Your brain is on high alert. Newness causes a big spike in dopamine release, much higher than with familiar foods. This reaction has an evolutionary purpose. It helps us notice new food sources, quickly learn which ones are safe and full of energy, and remember which ones might be harmful. But the newness effect is only temporary. Eat that same thing every day for a week, and your experience changes. The initial excitement fades, because your brain has gotten used to the stimulus. The dopamine response gets weaker with each time you try it. The food becomes normal, maybe even boring. This is how our bodies encourage us to eat different foods. In nature, it pushes us to find various types of food. This makes sure we get a good mix of nutrients and don't rely on just one source. The idea of diminishing returns has two main outcomes in today's world. Outcome 1. We stop eating that food for a while. This is the best way to handle it ourselves. Outcome 2, which is more common. We look for a new sweet treat. We search for a dessert that's sweeter, richer, or has a more exciting taste and texture. This is an unconscious effort to chase that first big dopamine feeling. This constant search can lead to us eating more and more sugar overall. We jump from one product to another, always trying to find a new level of excitement for our reward system that's become less sensitive. The food industry uses this by always bringing out new cookies, candies, ice creams, and sodas. Each new product promises a fresh experience. This cycle of always looking for something new makes it hard to stop eating so much sugar, because there's always another tempting product waiting to grab our brain's attention, restarting the cycle of craving and reward and stopping us from truly feeling satisfied. Besides the quick chemical reactions in our brains, there's another important communication system at work that helps control how we eat. It's called the gut-brain axis. This complex network involves a constant chat between our digestive system and our central nervous system. When we eat and food starts to fill our stomach and intestines, special sensor cells in our gut lining get activated. These cells act like messengers, sending various signals up to the brain through nerves and hormones. These signals carry important information. Most importantly, the message that we are full and it's time to stop eating. This is the basic way we feel full, satisfied, and ready to end a meal. Unfortunately, this finely tuned system can get messed up by the foods we eat, especially modern, highly processed foods, rich in refined sugars. These foods are often high in calories but lack the fiber and bulk needed to properly activate the stretch receptors and nutrient sensors in our gut. As a result, the fullness signals sent to the brain can be weak, delayed, or not enough. We can consume a lot of calories from sugary drinks and processed snacks without our gut sending strong stop signals. This is why it's often possible to keep wanting more, even after eating a meal that should have been enough calories. This broken communication means we rely more on the brain's pleasure-driven reward system instead of our body's natural hunger and fullness cues. The strong dopamine rush from sugar basically overrides the faint fullness signals coming from the gut. The brain's desire for more pleasure becomes louder than the quiet whisper from the stomach that it's full. This creates a big disconnect between our body's energy needs and our mind's desire to eat. The result is a tendency to overeat, as the rewarding properties of food push us to keep eating past the point of physical fullness, directly leading to weight gain and metabolic problems over time. What's more, the makeup of our gut microbiome, the trillions of bacteria living in our digestive tract, also plays a role. Diets high in sugar and processed foods can change this bacterial ecosystem, favoring the growth of bacteria that thrive on sugar. Some studies suggest that these bacteria might even affect our cravings by sending their own chemical signals to the brain, further encouraging us to eat the sugary foods they need to grow. This creates another feedback loop that strengthens sugary eating habits, making it even harder to make healthier choices. It highlights how the effects of our diet go deep into our biology, influencing our very desires from the inside out. So, what real steps can we take to handle this tricky dance between sugar, our brains, and our bodies? The first and most important step is to be aware. Sugar isn't just in candy or desserts, it's a hidden ingredient in many processed foods. Consciously reading food labels can be a real eye-opener. This knowledge is power. It lets us make choices instead of just eating without thinking. Second, eating a variety of foods is super important. Include lots of whole, unprocessed foods, colorful fruits and vegetables, lean proteins, whole grains. These foods are packed with vitamins, minerals, and fiber, which helps send fullness signals from your gut to your brain. Slowly cutting back is often more lasting than stopping all at once. Reduce the number of sugary drinks each week. Choose smaller dessert portions.